And you mentioned the CFA, and I do presume that we probably got quite a few people on the call now that are in the finance domain, and we have webinars, I think, on CFA and the CFA community that we're setting up. I know that you're aware of Jean Berger and his expertise and his reputation in the industry. So perhaps let's just lean in a little bit on the CFA topic, and that can help people with workplace readiness in terms of doing a couple of extra courses and becoming part of a CFA community. Even if you're not studying for the CFA, it's a world that I think, if you can understand a little bit about it and watch some of our webinars and our courses, that's a good example of how somebody in finance can get ready for that financial workplace. So do you just want to touch on John Berger and the new community that we've spoken about on a couple of previous webinars?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something like the CFA, it's key what you've said, Peter. It's not even that you need to be doing it. It's whether or not you're doing it. You can join the community, you can join the Facebook page, and you can, I personally have also signed up for some, because I'm always talking about the CFA, but I certainly, in an HR background, never needed to do the exam. And I found it so interesting. And it's not only about banking. It's if you're business oriented, or if you're entrepreneurial, or, you want to run your own, whether you want to be, in finance or otherwise, it's got really good financial skills that are invaluable. So I think it's one of your most powerful sort of offerings.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I have now put a link to one of our CFA courses in the chat, and we're able to offer free access for everybody into that course. And this one, so there's a number of different topics in the CFA, and there are 3 levels to the CFA. So we're releasing a range of courses on the different topics, but any one of them will give you that introduction into the CFA world and help you learn about it and make a decision about whether that's something you want to invest your time and your money into. And in those courses, John talks about how the CFA is the gold standard for the finance community. And even if you're not doing the CFA, it gives you access into a world that, in terms of getting ready for the workplace, is priceless. And with somebody of that experience and reputation in the financial industry, and the recommendation from someone like Tracy, who's seen the power of the CFA to help people become successful in their careers, these are opportunities and resources that you absolutely cannot pass up. But again, CFA a little bit more in the financial world. I've also sort of dabbled in investment banking over the years, never really managed to make a career out of it, but certainly have enjoyed networking with investment bankers and learning from them and what they do and trying to understand their world. And it's absolutely fascinating, because when John Berger was on our webinar previously, and we were talking about the new community that he's been setting up, he was talking about how he himself doesn't have a formal finance qualification. He obviously did the CFA, but he comes from a non-financial background. So the teaching style that he puts into his courses in his community actually is geared towards people that don't have that formal accountancy and financial training background. So even if you do, that's fantastic, but it's so accessible for so many people to start learning about this financial world. So I've popped a link to the course in the chat. There are only limited free seats there, but if you go into the course, you'll see a lot more about Jean Berger. You'll see lessons about corporate finance. You'll learn a lot more about this world that Tracy has been talking about, and which from a financial workplace perspective really can boost your career.